there we have it. As you probably know, China and Taiwan don't have the best of histories together. A while ago, while there were some revolutions happening, some of the ideals of each persons in the new sort of forming area of China may not have wholeheartedly agreed with each other. And some of them decided to go off into the island of Taiwan, forming their own government of how they believe things should be. And that's how we get here today. Two governments, one doesn't recognize the other, and the other one is trying to be fully sovereign. And because of that, China is pushing more and more over the past few years, I believe especially during coronavirus, to kind of show the world that it's thinks of Taiwan as its own territory, so why shouldn't it be able to do, let's say, war games near or around Taiwan? And that's exactly what happened. They sent out a lot of planes, I believe 153 is what the article said, carriers, ships, things like that, all around, even going into Taiwanese space, airspace, might have been water space too, but I think the article just said airspace. Obviously, provoking a response from Taiwan and America, which is not so happy about China's actions there. This is causing, of course, more tension in an already tense situation, leading people to wonder about the stability of the region into the future. Is China doing this sort of uptick of activity for actually preparing for real war? Or is this just a sort of bluff in order to do a little sort of scare tactics to Taiwan and America, saying like, back down, Taiwan's ours type thing? In any case, the Taiwanese government says that it's not working. It has only served to push China further into isolationism, according to the rest of the world. But time will tell, according to this one. Let's go ahead and get into a couple questions, because I'm sure they'll be riveting. Do you think that these sort of war games exercises from China are going to affect its relationships around the world?
I don't know if this specific incident is going to have a huge, long-lasting impact, but I guess, over time they do this enough. It does feel like it's alienating some countries. The allies of Taiwan, such as America, I guess Japan, South Korea, I think, the UK, a lot of the European countries. But I wonder how countries like Russia are responding to this. Maybe the Russians are impressed, and it is affecting their relationship, but in a more positive way. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for Mr. Putin. He doesn't like that. So, I bet the allies of China, they might be quite pleased, but the enemies of China are angry and displeased.
Wow, you just kind of summed up all world politics.
Yes, we're gradually forming into two groups who hate each other.
Gradually.
The new Cold War.
The new Cold War. Same as the old one. Same as the ones before that.
Similar.
Yeah. What do you think that sort of international bodies, such as maybe, let's say, the UN or some sort of trade agreements, can help lessen the tension between Taiwan and China? Or do you think there's not much we can do?
Well, I guess going by the previous policy of Donald Trump, who is soon to be the next US president, he was pretty convinced that sanctions against China, tariffs on imported Chinese products was going to pressure China. I don't really recall now if that actually had any effect when he was in office the first time, but again, he could do it differently this time. He could do it even more strongly. But I don't know if it's going to have any effect. If you look at the impact sanctions have had on Russia, have they stopped their invasion of Ukraine? No. So maybe the sanctions are not actually that useful. Because if they still have other partners to trade with, does it really matter if they've excluded themselves from certain markets? China is such a massive country and economy. It does seem unlikely that they are going to be brought to their knees and brought to heel by just some countries putting some sanctions on them. I am not optimistic. But again, I don't really know much about international trade or policy or anything, so don't take my word for it.
Check back in like 7 years and tell us what happened. Yeah, maybe 5 to 7 years. Thanks. We'll be waiting. But what you don't have to wait for is that vocabulary. It's available to you right now for a low, low price of right in front of you. And so go ahead and study that, use it in your everyday English, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Prior.
Prior.
Separatist.
Separatist.
Navigational.
Navigational.
Vessel.
Vessel.
Solidarity.
Solidarity.